So really, like, for the women that I work with, it is just like this freedom that they have eventually when they really truly tapped into their feminine and they trust their bodies. It is waking up every day, trusting their body, trusting the universe, and just responding according to what their body and the universe is asking them for.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not necessarily like this is exactly what it looks
Yeah.
like. And that's so frustrating sometimes because we're really like, just give me the fucking checklist. But the feminine doesn't really work that way. She
Yeah.
likes to flow and create and be chaotic and all of these things. So
Yeah.
it is giving your body like that permission.
I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. All right, guys, I don't mean to get too personal with you, but that's my jam. When I come across a product or something that I believe in, that I fall in love with, I have to share it with you guys. So that is why I am interrupting this episode today to tell you about Awkward Essentials, which is a company that created the drip stick, aka a cum sponge. Yes. Okay, so hear me out. When we decided that we were going to be a child-free family and Danny went to get his vasectomy, that allowed us new opportunities to have some more fun in the bedroom, and specifically fun around finishing and what that would look like for him. So afterwards, when this would happen, I would be walking around and it would just be like gooey. I feel like I just left the gynecologist's office, like dripping. And no matter how much I wiped, how much I peed, it still just felt ugh to me. All right. Then my friend told me about the drip stick, and I have been using these for over a year now. I'm obsessed. So this is the original after sex sponge, and it is specifically for absorbing excess cum. It is super soft. It's a medical grade sponge, and it quickly soaks up. Like literally, I insert it, I spin it around a couple times, I take it out, I throw it away, boom, I'm done, and then no more drippy drip throughout the day. It is seriously, it is so good. Now, I realize this is not for everybody, but for those of you that this is for you, I highly recommend going to going to awkwardessentials.com. You can find the link in the show here, and using code Rachel 91347. That's Rachel 91347. Use this code at checkout and it's going to save you 10% on your purchase. Of course, DM me if you have any questions. I recommend getting the 20 pack or the 100 pack if you really, really like to have sex a lot. And you can also get a little trial size where they send you just a few to try out. They're super affordable too. So go check these out. Again, code is Rachel 91347, awkwardessentials.com. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Owning Your Sexual Self. Might get a little bit of a different vibe on today's episode. As I was just telling our guest, Joe Miller, I'm just coming out of a massage, so I'm feeling very zen and relaxed right now. So you might not get the normal high energy Rachel, which is good because we're talking feminine energy today. So I'm doing a little masculine right now by recording the podcast, but while just feeling very feminine and in the flow. So thank you so much, Joe, for coming on to the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk about feminine energy and all those things. And yeah, you being like having come from a massage is perfect. Just
Mm-hmm.
in that state of flow.
Yes, yes. So nice. That's one of the topics that we'll talk about is making pleasure a priority in life. And so, with the massage, I get this every month as a treat to myself as part of self-care and just proactive health and all of that. And so, yeah, I just thought that I just had that recollection. Like that's a nice little
Yeah.
thing for this episode as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Pleasure is so underrated. So that's amazing that you show up for yourself that way.
Yes, yeah. And I think a lot of people too, when they think pleasure, they think I'm talking sexual pleasure, given the
Right.
industry that I'm in, but I'm sure we'll tap on that. Pleasure can be so many more things other than just sexual pleasure.
Absolutely.
Mm. So you're someone that's in feminine leadership and you help other entrepreneurs just come build their businesses in this soul led space and making sure that they're very aligned with what feels good to them. And how
Yeah.
did you, are you like me? Do you have that more masculine, like go, go, go background and then you transitioned into the feminine side, or have you always just had this energy within you?
So I feel like any coach usually just coaches what their own life experience has been. That's kind of like the beauty of it is you have so much of this like knowledge from your own pain and experience. So I just came to this point where I had been trying to build my business and doing all these programs back to back to back. And then I just hit this wall where I was like, I'm just so exhausted. So I actually just gave myself permission to take like a 6 month rest sabbatical, is what I called it, where
Mm,
I literally just did nothing. And I let my body just naturally like decondition from what everyone was telling me I had to do. And I felt my nervous system actually come back to this place of like just calm and balance. And for the first time, I could actually hear myself as well. So
mhm,
it's so like sharpened my intuition in this way that it made it much louder than anyone else's voices around me. So then when I came back into my business, my mission was like, okay, I don't want to lose that.
mhm,
Like that, like pleasure and calm nervous system and embodiment, me really knowing who I am and how I want to move through this world. I don't want to lose that for the sake of my business. So that's basically what I help women with. A lot of women come to me that are just so burnt out. They're tired of this like roller coaster of having all this energy and then using it all and then tanking and wanting to burn their business to the ground.
mhm,
And so I help them cultivate this more feminine way of doing their life through
mhm,
like releasing their trauma, really focusing on their body, getting back into pleasure, getting back into um, yeah, just like heightening your sense of pleasure within your body.
mhm,
And honestly, like it sounds simple, but just coming home to yourself.
mhm,
Because when you create your business from that place of knowing who you are, how your energy wants to move into this world, like you're literally like creating offers from your pussy, not from your head. You're
mhm.
creating offers that like just want to be birthed through you. And that is like the type of world that I want to create too, right? Where like these types of offers are coming out that are, I believe, healing the world as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the long version. But basically it was my own story. And then I help women also do that themselves.
Yeah. And so powerful too, because I think that as we were talking before recording, we come from this very masculine society that tells us we need to be go, go, go. And
Yeah.
you, not just you, so many entrepreneurs that I've talked with have had this moment of rest and clarity and peace just kind of wash over them. And for some, it hasn't maybe been as long as 6 months. And for some, it's been longer than 6 months. They kind of take this hiatus. And I would say in my last year, I've gone through the same thing. And I just remember feeling so much guilt around that of not doing anything and not bringing in the income that I once was, because I was just giving my body what it needed. Um, and that's, yeah, that's difficult. And same for you. I found that when I took that time, I started getting into meditation, became Reiki certified, doing self practice with that, and practicing with crystals and things like that, finding my more spiritual side. And then that's, as you said, that's when just the downloads start to happen. You start to hear your own voice. You're not so, or I wasn't so apt to do what other people were telling me I was doing or I should be doing, or what I saw other people were doing, in the entrepreneur world or in the sex coaching world, that I thought, well, I should be doing that too. And yeah, still working for me personally on getting to that point of like creating from the pussy, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, creativity is something that I feel like I struggle with as a feminine person. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know that with the practice, like continue to do the practice, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
It's interesting because what we're really cultivating when we do this work is just like this deep, deep trust
Mm,
because the feminine way of life is not celebrated mostly in culture. Like there's somebody said once in an interview, like we celebrate like the ship that's going across the ocean as fast as it can. We don't celebrate the body of water with endless depths underneath of it that's
mm,
carrying it where it needs to go. just like that body of water being like the more feminine nature of life, that
Mm-hmm.
creativity, that like intuition, all of that, that sensual sexuality. And so when you decide to come back to your body, to do life, to do your business in a more feminine way, you are going against what society has told you to do from the very beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
probably from what every business coach has told you to do from the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning. So that does create that sense of like, like I'm probably doing things wrong or something like that. Like our nervous systems just aren't used to it in the beginning. So
Yeah.
what we're really doing is like slowly cultivating trust,
Mm-hmm.
like doing small little things where you're listening to your body before you're listening to just what is logical.
Mm-hmm.
Like going outside in the sun for 10 minutes because that's what you really want to do before you create your content. And then what you'll start to realize is that, oh, actually, like my content was way better after
Mm-hmm.
I did that. Or like it was just a much more pleasurable day. And I think that's where like life is trying to guide us back to that place of like it can all feel juicy. It
Mm-hmm.
can all feel like full of life. You can tap into this like eros energy, that erotic energy that's available to you all the time when you start to really like let your body lead the way, let that
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, which is so much smarter than just our intellect. Our body has like this wisdom that we can't really define. And when you start to lean into that, you build that trust within you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to make offers from your pussy instead of your head. And
Mm-hmm.
usually you don't jump there. It's like these little like building blocks, you know,
Mm-hmm.
trusting yourself, cultivating that energy within you, or you're trusting your body and what she's asking you to do. It's so beautiful though, because then you're getting on the level of like women experiencing like miracles, basically like illogical levels of success, illogical things, right? Because when you start to create from that, like, oh, yes, like this is just what I need to create, you're like working with the universe, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
working with the magic, not just like by yourself.
Yeah.
So you feel this like co-creation happening too, which is like so energizing and fun.
Yeah, that was one shift that I can say I can relate to is creating and making the offerings as they arose within me and as I felt like that drive and that lit up sort of feeling to create this like ooh like we should my husband and I we do couples workshops together. I'm like we should do a workshop around this and just feeling so charged around that and then the energy behind promoting that people can feel that people in the audience and people that are wanting to work with me or us can feel that versus creating something because I have to for financial
Yeah.
purposes. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and when you're speaking, how important it is to be in your feminine and to honor that part of you. For me, that shows up in my morning practice, and I don't essentially take any calls or meetings or anything before 11 a.m. every day, which
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, you have that luxury to be able to do that. Not everybody does, but I think it's so important for women to look at how you're starting your day and you can agree or disagree, but starting your day with stretch or like you said 10 minutes outside in the sun or enjoying your coffee without having the TV on, journaling, things like that, meditation, movement of some sort. So what
Yeah.
do you have a morning practice that you go to that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I do. Something like so simple that I cultivate, like with the women that I work with, it's just starting out with like 10 minutes and you set a timer and you're literally just sitting, doing nothing and
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening, like, what do you want today?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want me to know? And then you also start just like touching yourself, just like lightly, one finger, just like starting at a hand. And wherever it feels really good, where your body's saying yes, you just kind of linger there. And you just keep doing that, like all over your body. And it's literally just 10 minutes. That 10 minutes sets that masculine container so that your feminine feels free to explore and to create in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And just that 10 minutes in the morning will, it just makes you be so much more aware of what your body is saying to you throughout the whole day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever anything feels good, you're more likely to do it. So usually like women will be like, yeah, I did that like 2 or 3 times a day. It's like whenever I'm just kind of mindlessly going throughout my day or I'm in those moments of like stress, like I can
Mm-hmm.
feel tension, I'll just pause, take a couple minutes and just like drop back into my body. right?
Mm.
Because you're acknowledging, like, okay, that's where my power is. That's where my wisdom is.
Mm.
Not in all of the doing out here, but like it's in here. So literally, I think people make it really complicated, but it can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because then throughout your day, you'll hear your body more. So you'll hear when it wants you to go outside in the sun for a little bit. You'll hear when it wants you to just slow down and stretch a little bit, something
Hmm.
like that. So
Yeah.
if you start your morning just with like that tiny bit of connection, it
Hmm.
really like creates ripples throughout your day of just like really yummy moments of connection.
Mm. I'm definitely gonna have
Yeah.
to try that for sure. And I
Yeah. I
imagine for
highly recommend.
a lot of people that might be a little crunchy in the beginning. I
Hmm.
know when I first started meditation and they say like, oh, listen to what your body's telling you. But then I felt like it was all these things, my to-do list and the
Hmm.
intrusive thoughts and all the things were flooding in my head. I'm like, no, 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 like come back to the breath, come back to the breath.
Yes.
Eventually, yeah, it does change. The meditation doesn't
Yeah.
just revolve around your to-do list or what the things that you haven't got done that day.
Yeah.
And I love
And
that
I tell,
you said implement like the touching, because I think as women we don't
yes.
touch ourselves enough.
Yes. Yes. And like, yeah, when you think about like how often throughout your day do you just lovingly touch your
Mhm.
body? For most people, it's like zero,
Mhm.
0 minutes ever. But like that feels so lovely, right? And you like immediately when you start to do that, you start to get softer.
Mhm.
And the feminine is all about being in that soft, open state to be able to allow things in, to be able to receive. And I do like to tell people too, like the feminine body is meant to feel. So, like,
Mhm.
often if you haven't done a practice like that, like you'll feel these things come in. Like you might like be touching yourself in a lovely way and feel anger
Mhm.
just like come up,
Mhm.
or just deep sadness or things like that. So part of the practice is also just like don't make any of it wrong, just let it all move through you,
Mhm.
because the feminine body is about like feeling, just opening yourself up so you can be in that surrendered state.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've given us some examples already, but I'm wondering, can you give us maybe paint a picture of a woman that is living in her feminine and honoring her feminine energy, what that might look like for her on a daily basis?
Yeah. Um, I again don't like to complicate things too much. I think it's just you go about your day in this state of openness. So, a practice in the beginning, similar to that, basically would start with this concept of, is there anything in the way in my body keeping me from just full body orgasm right now? Like, is there anything sticky within that? And if there is, then we have like some work to do, some play to do. So there's different things that I would walk people through, but it's usually all about just getting in your body in some capacity. If you have a lot of anger, you can literally like jump on a trampoline for a while. You can rage scream into a pillow. You can just move your body in some way that like gets that energy moving. If you're feeling like just so much tension, we carry a lot of tension in our throats.
Mhm.
Like the throat heart yoni connection is like the feeling body connection.
Mhm.
So we're really focusing on like, how do those areas of my body feel right now? Is there any tension? And then where can I release? So usually there's like an embodiment practice like that in some capacity to start the day.
Mhm.
And I like to help women foster that relationship, that erotic relationship with the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, first,
Mhm.
before like a partnership or something like that, because your turn on is like your sacred responsibility. It's your gift to
Mhm.
the world, right? And when you are turned on, you have this energy that wants to create, and that will impact your business in a really empowering way. So, honestly, it's having a morning like that where you're connecting and you're clearing, so that then your day, you and the universe get to create that together, however that looks. Like, I can't tell you what that day is supposed to look like.
Mhm.
For me, sometimes that looks like as a projector. Like, after I do this today, I know like my body is calling me to just rest the rest of the day. So
Mhm.
I'll read for pleasure, I'll stretch, I'll get outside, just anything. I might get tacos. Like, it's literally like just me and the universe, just like having this like juicy relationship where I'm just listening and responding and getting to be in that like open space where I get to receive that guidance from him
Mhm.
because I trust that, right? Or like tomorrow, I might feel super full of energy and creativity. So after like doing that embodiment, I might really want to get in my business and create like some really juicy content.
Mm-hmm.
Or I might want to like create a new offer. It's really, I think people struggle with that at first with the feminine because she's so unpredictable,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? We want to have like a set schedule that we can follow where we know exactly what we're going to do. And that's more masculine. And we have both within us. But usually for feminine beings that have that feminine pull, we want to be more into the feminine.
Mm.
So that requires, again, that trust. Just being like, all right, do I trust that no matter what the universe asks me to do today, it's like for my benefit and it's also going to benefit my business, even if that looks like not doing anything in my business that day.
Mm-hmm.
So really like for the women that I work with, it is just like this freedom that they have eventually when they really truly tapped into their feminine and they trust their bodies. It is waking up every day, trusting their body, trusting the universe, and just responding according to what their body and the universe is asking them for.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not necessarily like this is exactly what it looks
Yeah.
like. And that's so frustrating sometimes because we're really like, just give me the fucking checklist. But the feminine doesn't really work that way. She
Yeah.
likes to flow and create and be chaotic and all of these things. So
Yeah.
it is giving your body like that permission.
I just imagine like this when I think of like masculine and feminine, I almost think of like the angel and the devil on the shoulder, like that analogy,
Mm.
but you have like your masculine, your feminine on your shoulder. And then I just imagine like the feminine just like ripping up the to-do list and just like dancing with
Yes,
like ha ha ha,
that
like
is
I'm
it.
gonna do this today instead. And
Yes, exactly.
yeah, as I said, that's something I've definitely struggled with. I'm very like structured, systematic person. I like to have the plan. I like to know all the details of the plan,
Yeah.
carry out the plan, and in moving and doing more practicing around my feminine, as I already mentioned, that guilt came up. But what I found is exactly what you said, that when I took the time to honor the rest or honor, wanting to go for a walk or wanting to read for pleasure, doing those things, when I came out of them, I felt more inspired. When I'm on my walk now, I'm having these ideas for programs or different techniques I can use in coaching and things like that. So it happened, even though you're not doing anything in that moment, you're just being in full. Like it's still the universe has its way. Like the universe is doing
Yeah.
its thing in the background, and I feel like it's almost like it rewards me for honoring my feminine in ways that aren't as rewarding or might look different as a rewarding from being in the masculine.
And you'll realize too, as far as like creating becomes easier, or like you get way more done when you actually prioritize your feminine first
Mm-hmm.
versus trying to like, all right, let me just get this whole checklist done and then I'll try to tap into my body. If you switch those, the list will actually be like way easier in
Mm-hmm.
some capacity, or you'll get more joy out of it, or you won't feel so stressed about it, right? Like there will be more flow when you allow space for that feminine too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's this really beautiful thing. Actually, it's like a very good strategy to have for you to get into your feminine first.
Yeah.
Because again, that body knows things that like the mind doesn't know. And that intuition can give you answers that the mind doesn't know by itself. So
Mm-hmm.
you are like agreeing to work on this like more magical plane of
Yeah.
existence. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah.
This conversation is just making me want to relax and for the rest
Just
of the
go get in
day.
the bath or something.
Yeah. I mean, I already started the day off well. So,
Yeah.
why not just carry out that theme?
Yeah.
Um,
I
so,
will say like one thing that you mentioned that made me think of it is like with the lists, the systems, all of that stuff. None of that is like bad or wrong at all. Some people want to go like so far into their feminine that they just like have no structure or anything like that. And actually like the feminine and the masculine play together, right? Even within you. So when you have those systems and structures in place, that creates basically like a safe masculine container. And then your feminine feels safe to flow. So I would say, like, just don't go too far off the deep end. Like, sometimes you need to, and then you can pull back, but like, really celebrate those beautiful masculine structures that you have in place too. Because when you have those, then your feminine does feel like, okay, like I have a way that people can pay me. I know what this offer is. I've told people about it, like things like that. So then your feminine does feel like safer to really
mm,
express and flow and like throw away the to do list here and there.
yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's more about like balance than it is just about like getting your feminine energy. Like really finding that like harmony between the two so that you feel the most free and open that you can feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not sure if this is out of the box, but since it is a sex podcast, when you're working with clients and you're specifically helping women feel more into their feminine, have you noticed any shifts of what that does within their relationships or within their sexuality?
Definitely. So, one of the best things that you can do, like, especially if you're an entrepreneur, is to take 5 to 10 minutes after you're done working, because that's usually a very, like, more masculine, rigid mode,
Mm-hmm.
and get into your body, soften, open yourself up a little bit, stretching, breathing, whatever, before you go into relationship. Because what I found is that like those things that serve you really well in business often are the things that kill polarity in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your like natural feminine softness and play and openness and trusting his guidance allows him to step into that leadership space,
Mm-hmm.
and that allows you to soften. Like that's what the feminine actually like wants, is to
Mm-hmm.
be able to just trust, to not have to do everything, right?
Yeah.
So, anytime a woman is connecting to her pleasure, connecting to her turn on, that's actually the masculine gets to plug into your turn on.
Mm-hmm.
The masculine gets to plug into whatever like you have going on already. So, a big part of like the work that I do is one, like helping them like transition from work to like relationship for the sake of like polarity and keeping that like juiciness, that sexual aliveness in their relationship, and also just really prioritizing their own feel good, their
Mm-hmm.
own pleasure, because that's what the masculine gets to tap into, which will also like benefit the relationship. But
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, it just feels amazing to you. It feels amazing. Your body feels so good when it's in pleasure. And that's not even just orgasm, that's just noticing throughout your day little things of pleasure. Like how slowly can you eat that dark chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you just like spend time just like touching the areas of your body that feel really good? Like those sorts of things just create this like, I call it like juice. It's just like juice. Your yoni is either like it's kind of dried up like that old sponge under the sink, or it's like sopping wet and it's just like ready to mush all over to the world. And we want you more in that like just like overflowing to the world state,
Yes.
right? So yeah, a lot of it is like I found, especially lately, like that transition from like work into relationship is really important. Like the ways that you dip back into your feminine so that you can soften and
Mm-hmm.
not have to be the boss all the time, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And as you said, for, speaking to male female relationships, women, they want to be provided for, they want to be taken care of, and the men, they want to be providing and they want to be the protectors. And I know this has shown up in my relationship, but when women are more so in their masculine and doing, taking care of everything, that you have, as my one of my mentors goes, she's like, both of your dicks are out. It's like
yep,
both of you have your dicks out. So
yeah,
there can only be one dick at the table. So
yep.
figure it out, and
Like it's
yeah, that always makes me giggle. But yeah, that definitely was a thing, and that's conversations that we have, my husband and
yeah.
I now, the back and forth and being able to support each other. And I'm sure for a lot of men that are listening to this, they might have questions. So I'm trying to formulate the right question to ask you, but I think it is how, so for men listening to this that are wanting to support their female partners more in being in their feminine and create that space where the woman feels like, okay, he's got this. I can trust that he's going to take care of this or take care of me. How can men, yeah, how can men just be more supportive of that to allow her to be more in her feminine?
So I will say first to the feminine, it is your job to invite in the
Mm-hmm.
masculine, to create the space
Mm-hmm.
where you're even allowed to have these conversations with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it feels safe for him to step in,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So once that's been created, that like safe space, the feminine has invited in your guidance. Um, it's as simple as I encourage men to like pay so much attention to their partner's body, because once you start to get really in tune with your partner's body, you can see it. Are her shoulders like super tense and tight? Is she breathing like really shallow breath? You can feel like men are very intuitive more than they give themselves credit.
Mm.
You can tell when your partner is just in like this stressed state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the best things that you can do is actually just like is to like change the energy, which could be, and again, this is up to you, like your intuition, feeling into the moment, men, trusting yourself, being like, this is what the moment needs. This is what my woman needs. It can
Mm-hmm.
be as simple as going, like holding her shoulders and being like, babe, just stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even that feels so good to the feminine heart, just to be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay,
Yes.
I'm going to get out of this little spiral that I'm in right now. And I'm just
She
going to
might
like trust
resist you.
her.
She might
She might
resist you
resist
at
you.
first. So
Absolutely.
just
It takes practice too.
yeah, I
It
know,
takes
but I want to
practice.
say like hold your pole, like hold your masculine
Hold your
pole in
pull.
that,
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't fold because your guidance
Mm-hmm.
sometimes will create the storm in her. It will trigger her. But that's good. Triggers are teachers. We want that storm to come up. And if you can just withhold the storm, the softness is on the other side of that. The
Mm-hmm.
softness, the like, oh, like, thank you, baby, for just being here for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, masculine guidance really, really comes from him deeply trusting himself.
Mm.
So then he's not dropping or falling or folding whenever she has reactions.
Yeah.
That's like one of the best things that you can do to really create that polarity in your relationship and for her to really start trusting you. Because
Yeah.
if you don't trust yourself, she can't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like so big because she wants you to come in those moments. Truly, like deep down, she might not know it yet, but she wants you to come in and be like, hey, it's okay. I got this. Like, some of the best things that a man can say to a woman is like, I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do this. I've got this for you. Like, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Just like those sorts of things. Where like, where can you step in and take something off of her plate
Mm.
so that she can just rest and
Yeah.
she can just stop for a minute? Because we're really, really good at multitasking, but it doesn't mean that we were designed to do that all the time.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, really like that trust, like masculine, trust yourself.
Mm.
And that's like your own relationship.
Yeah.
Like, really like figure out a way to really trust your voice within, because that will benefit your relationship like exponentially.
Mm-hmm. And speaking from experience, it will feel likely crunchy in the beginning. Um, Again, being a woman that was primarily living in her masculine, and then when my husband has been doing his own coaching work and stuff over the last year and a half, and so stepping more into his feminine, in his masculine, me stepping more into my feminine coincidentally, and yeah, I could just think of moments where I've been particularly moody in a day, and standing in the kitchen, he just comes up to me and, as you said, with the shoulders, but just like embrace it. He gives the best hugs and just like embraces me and just holds me in that moment. And at first, I remember just feeling like resistance to that, and it's like, no, I'm in the middle of something. I need to get this done, and then he just continues to hold me, and just breathing and breathing together. And then it's like the tears are shedded, and it's like I'm so
Yes.
grateful and thankful in that moment. And then
Yes.
I feel so much more connected to him in those
Yeah.
moments, like when he does like I said, like hold that pull, like step into his masculine
Yeah.
leadership like that. It's such a beautiful thing.
It's a gift. Like, that's the
Mm.
masculine gift. Like, that's such a gift to the feminine, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to trust yourself and hold that frame so that we can crumble or do whatever we
Mm-hmm.
need to do in order to be soft again, which
Mm-hmm.
is where we both want us to be, like in that soft space.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
beautiful.
Mm. This is such a good conversation. I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's yummy. I could
Is
talk about
there
like polarity, all of that.
I
Like,
know.
everything is so fascinating, so cool.
Yeah. I know I don't want to end yet. And I'm just wondering, is there anything that when you came on today that you were really hoping to talk about or hoping to cover, anything that needs to be double clicked on so far that we've talked about?
Mm, all this is great. I will say, like, the one piece that I do with all my clients, but I just forget to talk about all the time, is like trauma work.
Mm,
And like, so whenever you come up to that thing of like, but I want to trust, like, I want to trust my body, I want to be soft, I want to whatever, and you just feel like you just can't.
mhm,
Usually there's just like some type of trauma within you. And the body doesn't really distinguish between big T, little t trauma. It's just trauma. So it could be that like you really wanted to buy something at the store once and your mom told you no because we don't have the money. And so you decided in that moment, like, I'm not worthy of getting the things that I want or whatever. In
Mm-hmm.
those moments of trauma, we're creating these limiting beliefs. We're creating these things that like lock our hearts up, basically, because we're just trying to keep ourselves safe. Like that's what the nervous system is trying to do, is trying to keep you alive and living.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of women are very frustrated with that. But then once they realize, like, oh, I just have like some stuff in the way, we can work through that together. And then it makes you accessing those spots of softness and openness far easier once we've like neutralized those traumas. So I feel like people don't talk about like trauma enough with like the polarity world. But like when you have that like really intense shield over your heart that just won't let you soften, like usually there's just some things that we need to like uncover and play with there so that you start to feel safe
Yeah.
to actually do that. Because if the body doesn't feel safe, then it just won't allow it to happen because it's trying to keep you alive, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted to just mention that piece because I think a lot of women feel like, well, I want to do that, but I just can't. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. There's probably just like some things that you learned along the way that we just need to like rewire that subconscious so that she feels safe to soften and
Mm-hmm.
to open up in those things.
Yeah. And those traumas could have been present, as you said, in childhood, in previous
Yeah.
relationships is one that I
Yep.
feel like I can relate to.
Absolutely.
Not really ever being in a healthy relationship
Yeah.
before my husband. And so those patterns and, like you said, limiting beliefs definitely show up still in my marriage now even. And I think that
Yeah.
one of the books I'm thinking of, Lundy Bandicroft, The Body Keeps the Score. I think this is such a good
Yeah.
resource for people to read around trauma. And as you said, there's nothing wrong. And I think the important piece is that when these triggers come up and these emotions and reactions come up is to take the time to process them and look at them,
Yeah.
and not just kind of bury them away or think like, oh, it is what it is, just this is just how I
Yeah.
am. You can always change things, and
Yeah. Triggers are your greatest teachers.
mm-hmm.
Triggers are just teachers. Yeah. They're here to like
I
birth
love
something
that.
new in you. Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to remember that one. Triggers are your teachers. When you said that, I
It
really liked
helps you lean in because at first you're like, ah, shit, not again. And then you're like, okay, this is like here to help me like clear out
it.
something so that I can be more free.
Yeah,
Like that's
'cause
always
I
what they're
think
here
of
for.
triggers generally as like I'm triggered, like it's a bad thing. Like I'm triggered right now,
Yeah.
like I'm turned on in a bad way.
Yeah.
My fight or flight is on, on
Yeah.
very high right now. So yeah, the teaching mode, I think that's
Teachers.
such a good
Yeah.
invitation to, like I said, look within.
Yeah. Absolutely. Lean into those moments of like crunchiness
Mm-hmm.
and see like as the feminine, like see where you can soften past it,
Yeah,
past those moments of closure.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Joe. This was, again,
Yeah.
one of my favorite conversations that I've had in a while here on the podcast, and just so needed. I just feel like it was very resonant for me and my life, personal and business right now. So this was incredible. And tell the people where they can find you, and if anybody's
Yeah.
wanting to work with you, all of your contact.
Yes, of course. You can always find me over on Instagram. I'm very active over there at Goddess Femme CEO. I think you'll probably have a link to it in your
Mhm.
bio or something like that. Super easy. I am opening up a couple one-on-one spots right now, so feel free to reach out for that. All of that info is just over on Instagram, but definitely come and just say hi. I have an
Mhm.
amazing free training that helps you kind of get out of that hustle mode and into that soft mode. So feel free to grab that if that's something that
Mhm.
is like nurturing your heart right now. But yeah, mostly just on Instagram. Come over, say hi. I love connection. And I
Yes,
love helping you guys become more free, more soft and flowy.
adding to my to-do list for you. Resource.
Yeah, definitely. It's
That
an amazing
sounds
training.
great for me.
Yeah, grab it. It's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. And yeah, when this episode goes live, we'll have everything in the show notes. And if you follow me on social media, you'll easily be able to find Joe. We'll make sure to tag you and everything. And
Cool.
um, yeah, so thank you again
Awesome.
so much, all the way from
Yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love,
Thank
love, love
you.
Nashville.
Yeah, this was such a good conversation. Thank you. I feel nurtured by it as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you really fucking loved it, make sure to tag me on social media at the Rachel Main. I'll see you next week.